right then, the black bean burger, a great alternative to the classic beef burger. And this recipe I've honed over quite a long time, and we've absolutely cracked it. We've packed in an absolute boatload of flavour into this burger, and it is really, really easy to do, to make, to cook, to eat. It's just a classic, to be fair. And the beauty is it's quite flexible. Now in the video you're going to see that I'm going to cook it in the pan, but the beauty of this is you just cover it in a little bit of oil, you can throw it in the air fryer, and you get almost very, very similar results. So it's worth doing that, particularly if you want to, you know, avoid all the smells and whatever. So let's cook. Okay mate, I hear ya. But this is the shopping list, okay? So as a black bean burger, you're gonna need some black beans. So I've got 2 cartons here, and this is gonna make about 4 burgers, okay? So that's 4 burgers for 4 people, or 4 burgers for 1 person, or save some for a rainy day. You're gonna need some breadcrumbs. I'm using panko. The flavouring is ground white pepper and paprika. I'm using some Parmesan cheese, some onions, you know, those green ones, spring onions, scallions, whatever. And you are going to need some egg to bind this together. And of course, it's a burger. You're going to need some rolls. You're going to need cheese. You're going to need relish sauce, whatever you like on that damn thing, okay? So the first step here is to dry out your beans. So they come in a load of juice. You want to drain that away, and then you want to get the paper towel and make sure you get as much of it as possible, because it's all about moisture management, this recipe. So once you've done that, you're going to want to get a tray, a couple of baking trays, and you're going to want to spread them out. Make sure they're not completely packed. That's why I'm using 2 trays lined in foil, because that makes it easier to wash up, because you know this could get stuck, right? But the truth of the matter is these are going to dry out, so they're probably not going to get stuck. So move them about, put them in the oven, and just monitor them until you know that they are starting to crisp up. You can see what they look like there in the food processor. They were starting to look, you know, more like raisins, but you know, you just want to make sure that they've started to dry out. Initially in the oven, moisture will come out, so you'll see that. So start moving them about. But once it's done, take them out, let them cool down. Stick them in the food processor and just blitz them up into a crumb, not into a paste, okay? Just into a crumb, you can see that, right? So then you want to just prepare your onions. So just finely chop these bad boys up, okay? There's no secret to this. Just finally chop them up, stick them in a bowl for when we start putting it all together, okay? So here we go. I've got the bowl, I've got the beans. I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of these breadcrumbs, but as you'll see, I'll add some more in a minute. So we're just putting those flavourings. So there's like a teaspoon or 2 of ground white pepper, then you know, probably a tablespoon of paprika, and you've got your Parmesan. This is just seasoning. This is just salt alternative, but it's going to give a nice little flavor. Real good, okay? So once you've got a nice amount of the Parmesan cheese, you're going to add a secret ingredient, which I forgot to say in the shopping list. Bit of cornflour, okay? So just put in a tablespoon of this. If you haven't got it, use just some regular flour, but you're going to want some flour. Just again, this is all about moisture management, but this is going to make it crispier. And obviously the cornflour, you know, that is a secret ingredient for making things really goddamn crispy, okay? So as you can see, I decided to put in a couple, 3, so nearly double. So you can see in that sort of quantity of, you know, 2 cartons of beans, I used about 7 spoonfuls of breadcrumbs, because I just wanted a good balance, okay? I wanted to develop you know, some texture into these burgers, and this is what it is. This is this moisture management I spoke about. So we put in the onions there, then we're going to put in the egg. Now I've just put in a little bit there just to test the water, because it, you know, it all depends on how well you've done in keeping this stuff dry. Will depend on how much egg you need. Now you can see I threw in all of the egg there. I think that was 2 eggs, but you know, it's all about, you know, you've got to monitor this. You don't want to put too much. You know, half an egg, and just see how it comes together. Because like anything, like when you're making cakes and doughs and whatever, you put too much in, then suddenly you've got an absolute mess in your hands, and you've just wasted all your time. So don't put too much. Pull it all together. If it needs a little bit more egg, just put it through and squeeze it through. And then once you've kind of got to this consistency where it kind of holds it together, it's kind of wet, it's kind of wettish to touch, but it's kind of, it's together, it's not sloppy. And you can see that I made 3. Now I made 3 massive burgers. Really, it should have really made 4 minimum, and I probably could have made 6 like nice thin ones, okay, with that sort of ingredients. Now you can see I've got the pan, I've got the oil in there. This needs oil. There's no 2 ways about it. There's no like cooking this without oil business. So put some oil in, make sure it's nice and hot. And this sort of thing is kind of all ready to go. You just need to crisp it up and make it nice and tasty. That's another reason for the oil. So make sure you cook it for a few minutes on each side. Flip it because you want to get that texture. You want to get that crispiness. Because again, it's going to give you that texture when you bite into it. But this is a burger, okay? This isn't, a mouthful of slop, which is what most, bean type burgers are. It's not a mashed potato in a roll business, This is a bean burger, So here, load of cheese, grated cheese. Grated cheese with a burger always works great, particularly with the bean burger. So nice, mature, really tasty cheddar. That's what you want. Pile that on. Then put your relish. I mean, I'm using burger sauce from Leon. That's pretty good. A lot of flavour in there. A lot of flavour. So stick that on the top, then drop that burger. I mean, that's the size of that thing, right? And then we put on the lid, and there we go. Wowzers, man. This is bringing back some good memories. But, once again, let's try and learn from our mistakes in showing the burger to the actual camera rather than above. Right, so let's actually taste this damn thing as well, right? As we saw, this is the burger. Look at how fantastic it is. Looks absolutely great. That is great. The difference between this one and a lot of black bean burgers that you'll see out there, they're mush. They're just mush. A lot of bean based burgers are just mush. It's like having mashed potato inside your burger roll. No one wants that. This, it's got texture, it's got a crunch to it, it's got so much flavour. It's well worth it. This is one of my best recipes. And I did put cheese in it. If you want to take out the cheese, make it completely vegan. So there you go. Great little black bean burger. Let's cook.